YouTube is full of videos about good knives. It's full of videos about bad knives. It's high time that someone makes a video about weird knives. This is 3 Weird Knives, and I'm your host, JJJinks!
Let's get weird.
Okay, in this week's episode, I'd like to start off with this knife. Some of you may have seen something like this around. It's a knife that's made to also hold a lighter, which is a perfect combination, knives and fire. So here I've got my south of the border lighter. You slip it in. It's a little loose. Finding a lighter that fits this thing has been a challenge. And this particular model, which is in gold, comes with a little stubby Tanto blade in black. It is a lighter lock, so the open assisted mechanism seems to work pretty well. And you have this massive, this really wide pocket clip. It kind of reminds me of the one you'd see on like a Microtech Combat Troodon, but like even wider. Oh, that's really stiff too. So you're out on the road, you light up. This thing sucks. And when someone says, hey, you got a light, but then they actually try to rob you, surprise, motherfucker. Let's make sure that when you go to light your cigarette, you flick the right mechanism. Up next, I have a little blue bird. They make these in all kinds of different colors, and they range in price from like $5 to $20 a piece, and I don't know the difference in the quality or anything. I just got the cheapest one because reasons. But anyway, it is a ceramic bladed knife that upon opening looks like this. So it's kind of a novelty. It's for looks, and I like how the beak of the bird follows the knife as you open it, so now it's just kind of like, it's a knife that Picasso would appreciate. The blade is white ceramic, and funny thing is they actually give you a little bit of a choil here. Yeah, you don't really need a sharpening choil on a ceramic knife. And then to close it, the pivot is the eyeball of the bird. It is held in place by a flathead screw, which I've just noticed is very loose. I can poke the eye and it kind of shoots out a little bit. So this pivot needs to be tightened. When it's opened, it's insanely rattly. Tons of play. But maybe that's because the pivot is having some problems. It'll cut. And it comes with a keychain thing. Okay, now this next knife I have a few things to say about. First of all, I got it from Wish.com, and I did not read the description, which is really the only way you should shop on Wish.com, because then things like this happen. First of all, it is an OTF. Second of all, it came in this case. For $8, I got the knife, this case, and they actually sent a second one. So I got 2 of these. These were $4 a piece. And a bonus little push dagger in a plastic bag. I was just expecting this in like a plastic bag or something, but I got all this stuff for $8. So I was curious, what does an $8 OTF look like? And I had to go with the classic skull pattern. Now, this skull pattern is one that I've seen many times before in a lot of different knives. For example, I'll bring this one back onto the camera. This is one of the knives that I call it my Love's Trio, which I got in Indiana. Or was it Illinois? It was Illinois. A Love's station in Illinois. They had 3 knives, tons of them, and this was one of them, and you can see the classic skull pattern on this one. You can get these patterns in different colors, so different colored skulls, or just different colored eyeballs. And you know, a lot of variety in that way. So I was really happy when I saw, not only could I get an $8, well, $4 OTF, but it had the skull pattern on it. But here's the thing. If you have a look at them side by side, you'll notice they're scaled a little bit differently. The skulls on this OTF knife have been stretched out. It's like they took the image and just made it bigger to fit it on the knife. And that has resulted in a lot of funky distortions. If we have a look around the knife, you'll see strange things like like this one, it looks like you're looking at the side of a skull, and all of a sudden, eyeball. And if you go to the other side, you straight up just have it stretched across the side here. If you cover up this eye a little bit, you get some kind of horrific, monstrous thing from a horror movie. You get a pretty pointy glass breaker, and the pocket clip isn't that good, I don't think, because there's like a little ridge that makes it very inaccessible here. But enough about that. It's an OTF. We got to do the thing. You know, for a $4 knife, that is one of the smoothest actions on an OTF I've ever experienced. Like, I've got legit OTFs that I've paid a lot of money for, and this knife is easier to deploy. How did they accomplish that? Well, the whole thing is made out of plastic. It's not aluminum, definitely not steel. It is super lightweight. It's just plastic. And the internal mechanism, with the exception of the blade and the spring, I'm guessing are equally inexpensive materials. Something like this could be the next greatest thing. And here's why. Because over the past year or two, there's been a renaissance in the affordable knife market. You have entire subsidiary companies popping up, feeding the sub $100 budget blade market. For example, you've got CJRB, which is under Artisan Cutlery. Artisan Cutlery itself is, they've got their metal scaled line, which for a while you could get for $30 to $40. Oh, you've got Tangram, which is a subsidiary of Kaiser. And these are knives that people love. They buy the shit out of them. But one thing they buy more than anything, when I say they, I mean usually just people on Reddit, are exclusives. It doesn't matter what it is. You could slap a Spyderco or a Benchmade or a Microtech logo on this thing. Call it the Benchmade Infidel Light, or I don't know, the Microtech Featherweight. It doesn't matter. Point is, you slap the logo of a known company on it, or make a subsidiary company. Make it an exclusive through a company like Blade HQ, and you could sell these cheap plastic things. People will pay $100 for it, and they will buy them in days. It will be sold out, I guarantee you, because it's actually happened. It happened with this knife, Desert Warrior Kalashnikov dagger. It looks like the Simpsons donut, and it's just a freaking novelty knife. It's they put a funky pattern on it. They made it a Blade HQ exclusive, and guess what? It only took 2 days for it to sell out, and people are reselling them for 2 or 3 times their value. And this all happened just a couple of months ago. Due to the demand, Blade HQ has now put out an exclusive Swiss Army knife version of this knife, which is not yet available, but I guarantee you this is gonna sell out real fucking quick. Why? It's an exclusive. All you gotta do is change the color of a popular knife a little bit. Spyderco does this all the time with their PM2s and PM3s. Spyderco just recently came out with their PM2 Tanto version, and it's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and people are gleefully snatching them up and putting up the photos online. They're like, guys, look, I got it! I got the Spyderco Tanto! All they gotta do is make a cheap plastic OTF, put their logo on it, and say it's an exclusive and it's affordable. $100 and it's yours. Sold out in 2 days, I guarantee. Hold